I wish they would be a sponsor for me. I'm so like desperate to get them because I absolutely love these bands. I learned about blood flow restriction, way back then several years ago, but I got a hold of the bands March last year. So this has been over a year and I have not been able to do impact exercises. I'm trying to reverse osteoarthritis. So doctors like no impact. I'm like, well, how am I going to lose all my muscle mass? This
Yeah.
is really bad. And it's been over a year and I've not only not lost my muscle mass, but I've increased it. But I use those bands friggin' every day.
Wow. So what are they?
Every
I
day.
don't know about them. So what are they and how do they
Oh
work?
gosh. Oh, I should have had them here. So they look like they just got a Velcro band around your arms or your legs. Some BFR bands have this sort of pump. It looks like the blood pressure pump, but I don't recommend those as much because there are some contraindications. You got to talk to your doctor. You got to make sure, whoever's selling this to you, it's safe. But the Kaatsu bands, it uses a cyclical cycle. So it inflates for 30 seconds and then deflates for, I think it's 5 or 10 seconds. And it's just this cycle that happens. So it's never really hard to do because normal BFR bands is blood flow restriction. When you restrict it's partial restriction of the blood into the extremity, and that activates growth hormone. And so that's how people are able to maintain muscle and build muscle. And when I found out about it, I was like, this is great for my audience because one, as we age, we may have surgeries, we may get injured more often, things happen, or menopause, and we struggle with building muscle as we losing our estrogen.
Mm.
So why not use this? And I'm so surprised more people in gerontology are not talking about that. And no one's talking about it except me in gerontology. And now in the menopause space, I think this is a fabulous thing to do. And it's honestly 10 minutes a day. You can do it while you're on the computer. You can do it while you're cooking. You can do it when you are training. And I just posted my story today because I was so amazed. I had these little baby weights, right? And when I'm a nomad, I don't always have weights anywhere I go. But here where I'm staying now, there's a little baby weight, or I'll use a bottle of water. And I had the bands on, and my veins were just pumping. And when you
Right.
lift things, you're like, wow, it's kind of heavy. and and again, I can't do impact. I can't do some heavy lifting, which I know is super important for menopause and bone density and for muscle mass. And these have been a lifesaver for me. And the longer I go where I'm not losing muscle mass, the more I believe in it and the more I get excited about it. And then of course
Wow.
I shared it with the community, and women get back to me saying similar stories. So I just want them to be a sponsor because I just rave about it. Rave about it.
So the main benefit is that it helps you build or maintain muscle. Is that right?
Yes. And I measure
Wow.
it with the body composition scale, and I am amazed. And you've got to get a hold of these, Tony. I
Yeah.
can't believe you don't have them. I think the first person who talked about it was Ben Greenfield, like ages ago. And then Leslie Kenny was the one who told me about the Kaatsu bands. And then I was just convinced. And it helps with collagen in the face. I mean, it just helps with bone density. It helps with, gosh, like everything. But again, you just have to measure it yourself and see what you
Mm.
think. But you'll see it from the first try. Your muscles just go kind of pop out. But
Wow. That sounds
it's
great.
and actually, if you Google, so when I was first investigating blood flow restriction, there's the two profiles that pop up on YouTube when you're researching this. These are the rehab people who don't want their, people to they're injured and they can't lose the muscle mass, there's athletes or something. And then you have the bodybuilders. And those
Mm.
guys are just, strapping it on and trying to get muscle gains and everything. And it's those two communities, and I want a gerontology community to come in there too. But again, I'm the only one. But I think these are fabulous.
Wow. You could be the blood flow restriction woman. That's going to be your tagline. Next time you come on Biohacking News, it's not going to say hack my age.
Exactly. Now, just yesterday I was walking, and it was funny because I had them on as I was walking down the boardwalk, and I and this guy comes up to me, this little Spanish man. He just literally see me going towards him, probably looking at these strange contraptions on my legs. I
Mm.
have the tubes. They have some without the tubes now. They look a bit weird, but I don't care. Biohackers, like, we don't care. We just do what it takes. And he looks at me, stops me, and he goes, "You look very strong. You look very strong." I was
Wow.
like, okay, all right. If this doesn't do anything, at least I look like I'm strong. But they do. Or there's a lot of, actually, if you do PubMed research, you'll find a lot of research on blood flow restriction, and you'll find a lot of research just on the Kaatsu bands themselves. Because Kaatsu is
Okay.
a brand. They've been around since the 60s, so it's nothing new.
That's my homework for tonight.